Hi, my name is Ayan and I'm studying A-level media studies, and today I'm going to tell you how does my product use or challenge conventions and how does it represent social groups or issues. So, if you don't know, I made my film and it's called Echoes of Guild. So, I'm going to be talking about that. Before I started the production of that film, I researched a lot of codes and conventions of different genres. While I was researching, I found that psychological thrillers, which is my preferred genre, it is also the genre of my film. And I focused on films like Joker, Enemy, or The Silence of the Lambs. I saw that these films use slow building tension, like they have unreliable narrators, like it's a lot of non-linear storytelling, and the sound design is very eerie, it's like catching, and the visual symbolism is to create unease, to have the audience on the edge of their seats. So I went for that look and I went for that story, I went for that structure. So for my short film, Echoes of Guild, I followed these conventions and also broke some of them to craft something unique and give the audience a unique experience that they have never seen before. So when I used the conventions, I built a suspenseful atmosphere. Like in any psychological thriller film, there's always a suspense. And I used the environment around my film, like the spaces, the lighting, and the unsettling score. Combine all of those to make people unease. Like when they watch it, they feel scared, they feel unease, like something bad is about to happen. I wanted them to feel that way, and I used the space around me to create that. As the story revolves around Kiran's internal struggle and paranoia, rather than direct violence, like it's about the internal, it's about the psychological trauma, it's about the psychological violence that is happening inside of his mind. And I emphasize this because of the psychological conflict, that there's something bigger happening inside of your mind. There's a bigger battle happening inside of you that you want to win and you want to overcome that. So the viewers can also relate to that. So I wanted to create that. I used this convention and code from my genre. However, there were a lot of challenges too. As there's no dramatic confrontation in this film. So I focused on Kiran's mental health, like how he is perceiving what is happening in front of him and what is going in his brain, the mental deterioration. And I subverted the audience's expectations. I gave them plot twists, and in my film you can guess that something is going to happen, but in the end something totally unpredictable is going to happen. I relied on subtle cues. The term show don't tell, I used that a lot in my direction. I gave clues through body language. I gave clues through heavy exposition. I allowed the audience to interpret the story. They can think like, how does this character is gonna get out? How is this character gonna survive? Now you're going to ask me, did it work? Yes, it did. These choices effectively created an unsettling psychological experience. The idea of a clear-cut antagonist made the story more introspective. Now let's talk about the representation of social groups and issues in my movie. Well, beyond being a psychological thriller, Echoes of Guilt explores a lot of themes. These themes are guilt, mental health, and the weight of past actions, the past experiences that still haunt you. Let's talk about mental health and isolation. Kiran's paranoia and isolation mirror real struggles with anxiety, guilt, and trauma. The film doesn't explicitly diagnose Kiran. It allows viewers to interpret his experience, much like how society often misjudges mental struggles. In our society nowadays, we don't really explore these themes. The film doesn't explicitly diagnose Kiran, and it allows viewers to interpret his experience, much like how society often misjudges mental struggles. And I wanted to create that environment where people see Kiran and they feel relatable and they can relate to his struggle, they can relate to his emotions. So that way they feel the bond, if there's a connection between the audience and the film, the character which is not in front of them, but they can still feel connected to it in a certain way. Another issue that my film talks about is justice as self punishment. The film questions whether true justice comes from external consequences or internal torment. Kiran's guilt manifests as psychological suffering. He's suffering from his past experiences and what he has done, highlighting how remorse can sometimes be harsher than formal punishment. He is still free. He's in his house sitting, but he still thinks that there's something which is keeping him chained, and that is self punishment. My final thoughts are that my film blends classic thriller conventions with fresh storytelling choices. Even with fresh storytelling, I still explore deeper social themes and create a multi layered story for my film.